Hey everyone! Okay, thanks for joining. So tonight's call, we are going to talk about how to push when you're just not seeing results. How do you keep going even when things are hard and you're not seeing the fruits of your labor? So that's the topic for tonight. But before we jump into that, I wanted to talk really quickly about you probably saw on our team page that we've changed our group name and we've combined groups. So Brenly and Brenly's my success partner. So she and I have been talking for, a couple weeks now about, the synergy that we have together and how can we bring that to our teams. And I had noticed that there were a couple top coaches that had done this previously where they kind of made a group page with 4 coaches and their downlines. And it just seemed like everyone was able to add input. It didn't matter what team you were on. Everyone was a part of it. And I really liked that idea. Instead of having to wait until we build up these huge teams to have big numbers, instead, we can get advice and thoughts from other people and other teams. So that brought about the birth child that is Storm Dynasty. So that is our new team name. And it's going to be for Brenly's downline, for my downline, Ashley for yours, everyone that's a part of this team. We're really excited. I think when we were talking about team names and what we wanted to do, we had come up with some words that we both wanted to be associated with. And Storm was not one of them, right? That's not even something that you really think of. But when we started to dig into, it's a force of nature, a force to be reckoned with. There's nothing greater than a storm, a hurricane can damage more than anything else. And it's you see it coming. It's this big force to be reckoned with. I think we both really identified with that. So therein lies Storm Dynasty. Wanted to give you guys a little background and also talk about success partners and how important they can be to your business. So I think with Brenly and I, we've been really fortunate that we have basically the exact same goals for our business, and we're at really similar stages in our business too. And I know that she and I will hold each other accountable to our big goals, not just hey, I haven't seen you posting in a while. Those are great and that's important, but it's the person that's going to keep you from failing when things get hard. And so that kind of brings us into the topic. But Brenly, did you want to say anything about that, or are you good?
Trying to unmute myself. No, I mean, everything Laura said is really accurate. We're really excited for everybody to be on this team. And like she said, we didn't want to wait until we had a huge team to join forces, because we have so much information out there that we can share. And there's no reason why, I can't help answer questions for, members of her team, and she can't help answer questions of members of my team. So really, I think it's just more of, you get more out of this, and you can even expand your network with people on my team and people on Laura's team, and maybe you can find your success partners that way too. It just kind of opens up more doors. And so we're really excited, and yay, Storm Dynasty.
Let's see if I can make it go back to me. Okay, there we go. So, all right, so I'll just jump into the call. I don't want to keep us on too long, and I think I could probably talk about this topic for a really long time, so I'll try and keep it sort of brief. So a couple different avenues that I wanted to go. And first I wanted to talk about kind of the theoretical advice behind what to do and how to push when you're not seeing results. So the very first thing that I thought of when I was, brainstorming for this topic, what are your expectations? Have you set expectations for yourself that honestly are too low? And that sounds weird to think that my expectations are too low, therefore I'm not achieving. But when you set your expectations, it's that 10x rule mentality. If I'm setting my goals to 10x or 100 times what I think I can and should accomplish, and I'm putting in the effort to accomplish at that level, then you're going to accomplish those goals. But if you've only set this expectation that you're going to, basically underachieve, then you're going to underachieve, right? You kind of set yourself up for failure. So I would say first, start by looking at what are your goals? What have you set for yourself? Are you telling yourself, I'm just going to hit Success Club 5 this month? That's my goal. not that that's a bad goal, but what I think that I'm like really trying to get at is, should you be aiming for Success Club 30? Should you be aiming to help 15 people instead of 3? Or, I mean, there are people that hit Success Club 60. Like, there's crazy things that can happen if you put the effort in. So, you know, reevaluate and kind of look at where you're at with your expectations for yourself. And the second thing that kind of goes along with that, so our book club book for July is Go for No, which of course I jumped ahead 2 weeks ago and listened to the audiobook, and I think I've listened to it like 3 times already. I just kind of have it on repeat because it's a pretty short audiobook. But just to give you guys like a quick preview or a goal for next month, 1, get through the audiobook, but 2, start making yourself a no list. And what that means really is, you know, instead of saying I'm going to help 3 people this month, say I want to get 20 no's from people. So what's going to happen is, you know, in the course of going through and asking people, you're going to get people that say yes. Like it's inevitable. That's going to happen. That's the law of the numbers and everything. But what happens when you get your 3 yeses and you've only asked 6 people? Most people take their foot off the gas. But if you keep going and you try and hit those 20 no's, are you actually going to maybe get 10 yeses or 15 yeses? I mean, you may only get 3 yeses, and that's okay. But if you're consistently going for more no's, then the yeses will come. So it's kind of a different way to think about how we approach, you know, inviting and talking to people. I'm going to leave a lot of this to the book, and we can talk about it at the end of July when we've all read or listened to the book. But I would start off, just create yourself a no list, set yourself a no goal, and that's what we're going to start kind of measuring. Instead of, you know, Success Club points are still important, and we will still measure that, but the no list to me is the more important, you know, metric to be tracking. So go for no. That's a good one. I listened to a really great Lindsay Matway video today, and it talked about getting connected with your why. And I think when we're not achieving and we start to maybe question if this was a good idea to be coaching, is this even the right business for me? You know, stop for a few minutes and take a step back and think about why you're doing this. But more important than that, what is the big reason? You know, in her video, she talks about basically, you know, you have 2 buildings, and in one of them, you know, one's a burning building. You're in this other one, and whatever it is that you most cherish is in this burning building. And there's a very thin, not wire, but pipe, let's say, between the 2. Like, you're going to go save whatever's in that burning building because it's that important to you. So my question to you is, what's in that building? That's your why. And I actually kind of teared up when I was listening to her video. Like, I've done this exercise so many times, but for whatever reason, this visual image just really hit home for me. So again, if you're struggling and you're not seeing those results, like, take a step back and get reconnected with why you're in this business and why you're doing what you're doing. Another big piece, and I think this kind of bridges the gap between theoretical and practical advice, but I'm not going to try and screen share, but I'll post this on the team page. It's talking about your language and how are you speaking to yourself? How are you thinking about yourself and your business, and what are you doing? So I saw this again on another team call, and I just loved how she flipped things kind of upside down, right? So started going through and saying, well, gosh, like, I'm about to message all these people. Like, what if they say no? Well, that's a funny thing to ask yourself, right? Like, what if they say yes? Why wouldn't you approach every time you sit down for a power hour with, what if they say yes? Or what if they think I'm bugging them? I've had that happen a lot, actually, especially recently for some reason. I think I'm actually like tapping out of my warm market, and I'm getting into those people that kind of scare me, and like they're the people I should have probably messaged like 3 months ago. But I totally think about, like, what if they think I'm bugging them? Well, what if they're flattered that I thought of them? Like, what if they've been waiting for me to reach out to them? So, flipping that on its ear a little bit. What if they treat me differently in person? This is a big one if you're reaching out to people that you see consistently. What if this group or this team actually strengthens your relationship? Actually on my team, like, I hadn't seen her in a while. We had maybe lost touch a little bit, but I am so grateful that I reached out to her because our relationship is so much stronger now. I obviously get to talk to her like every day, and it's just the best thing. So what if reaching out to this person, what if they do treat you differently, right? But in a good way. What if they want to be left alone? Ugh, what am I thinking? These people don't even want to hear from me. They just want to be left alone. Well, what if they've been waiting for you to ask? What if they've seen your post, but they're just maybe too shy to say anything or reach out? Maybe they're even too shy to like your post. Like, that can be, for some people, just too much. Well, what if they've been waiting to ask, for you to ask them? And then what if nobody replies to 15 invites? What if this is the one invitation that saves their life? There's so many times that we don't know what's going on the other end of Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I reached out to a girl recently who told me that she's actually like diagnosed with diabetes recently, and she's young, right? She's our age. She just had a baby. She has diabetes. She has heart problems, and she's not like significantly overweight. So this could be the thing that saves her life. So I'm really glad that I didn't stop myself from reaching out to her, because I almost did. So language is really, really important. So I just want you guys, every time you go into your power hour, whatever it is that you're thinking or you're having problems with, like, write it down and then write the reverse and say that to yourself, 10 times, 20 times, whatever it takes for you to feel like empowered and ready to tackle your power hour. Okay, so more practical advice. If you are not seeing results in your business, I would definitely encourage you to stop and look at what you're doing. This is totally like me calling out myself. But when I seem to struggle, am I really doing the vital behaviors? Am I really working out every day? Am I working out hard every day? Taking a walk with my girls, although it's the best part of my day, doesn't really count as a workout. Am I drinking my Shakeology? Most days, yes. But have there been days that I've missed recently? Yeah. And the people notice that, because every day I post my shake on social media and I post what I put in it every single day. So if I miss a day, like, that's inconsistent. And then, personal development, right? So I don't think I've posted about my personal development on my social media in a while, mostly because it's like the Beachbody team calls, but you need to be active in that and engaging other people, asking questions from the personal development that you're reading. Along with that, I would say, giving free advice or free content, and what are you putting out on your social media in addition to vital behavior type material? Are you posting healthy recipes? If you don't cook like me, like, how are you feeding your family healthy meals? How are you helping people? Exercises, like free, 5 exercises, repeat 10 times, like just a little something that you did, or a video of you working out. Like, it's just little things that I think I posted on the team page last week, or maybe it was earlier this week. I don't even know what day it is. The jab, 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 right hook. And I think it's Gary Vaynerchuk that wrote it. And I haven't read the whole thing. Okay, let me just start off by saying that. But I've read most of it. So it's all about like these little bits of content that you're putting out there. And then the right hook is basically like asking for the sale, or having permission to just put on your Facebook, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? Right? Because if you're just throwing, these hooks all over the place, like, you might land one, but that's so much effort to not be really like effective in what you're doing, right? So just little jabs of information, little bits of content that are kind of going to hook people and get them watching you. And then you can go ahead and right hook, post that, that group invite, or, sneak peek invite, whatever it is. So keep that in mind when you're going through. Again, if you're not seeing results, like, Are these the little everyday steps that you're taking? Are you really and truly doing that? And then I guess the very last thing, and then I'll turn it over to you, Brenly. The last thing I would say along with this, everyday little bit is it's called pumping the well, right? When you first start to pump a well, it's dry, like nothing's coming out. It takes a while to really get some water flowing. And it's in that time that I think most coaches give up. It takes months. It can take years for people to really start to get that well going and start to see the water flow. But it's again, it's what you do in that time that it's dry and that it's not really producing. It's what you do in that time that's going to give you the results long term. So don't give up. Keep going every day. And remember that the whole point of Beachbody and why we do what we do is to help people. That's it, right? That's the foundation. And if you have a heart and a passion to help people, that will come through. It'll come through in your posts. It'll come through in your jab content. It'll come through in your invites, whether you're, just posting an invite on your social media or if you're directly reaching out to people, whatever it is, if you have that underlying heart to help, then that'll come through. Brenly, I'll turn it over to you because that's kind of the end of my major content, but I think this is a good point of discussion.
Okay, I'm glad you left me enough time because I'm long-winded. Okay, but I'll try to keep it short too.
You're great.
Okay. And I think that, to kind of go along with what Laura was saying about pumping the well, when I started as a coach, I had a lot going on. But I knew that there was so much that I could benefit from this business personally, internally. So I decided just to kind of, focus on myself and help people at the same time. And it has, given me a huge transformation just inside, outside. But the one thing that, I want to tell every new coach and everybody that I meet, even at Super Saturdays, people I don't even know, I talk to people and they're like, oh, I'm the new coach. My one piece of advice to them is don't give up. Whatever you do, keep pushing. If you really truly believe that, like Laura said, that you have a heart to help people and you have something of value to give them, which is this business, whether it be the business side or just the personal side, don't give up because it does take time. If I had given up in the beginning, people that are on my team now would never have joined me because, well, I'll talk about this in a second, but, it was because I offered them something of value, which was a challenge group. I did not require them to buy anything from me because I truly just wanted to help them. And I felt like, if making them buy something from me didn't really, to me, it kind of gave off the wrong vibe at first. If they truly believe that, a product that I have can help them, then they will most likely purchase it at some point. But it all relates back to timing. If it's not the right time for them, show them that you really care deep down inside, and they will gain your trust. And over time, they will be like, okay, I see that she's not just in it for the money. I'm not just a number, and, now maybe they're ready, 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road. I have 2 people on my team that have been in my challenge group since I started them last March. And in the last couple of months, they both became coaches. So that's 9 months later. If I'd have given up, then I wouldn't be, the position I am to help them, and they never would have joined. And now I wouldn't have been able to, pass that on to them. So, just keep going, keep pushing, even if it's slow, even if you're, if you're not seeing those results. You'll probably hear this a ton, as you move forward, but what you do now is going to show up 3 months from now. So all the work you put in right now, know that it's coming, and this is what Laura was saying, even if if you're afraid to reach out to somebody and you do, and they reach back out to you and they say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you contacted me because, I've been watching you. People are always watching. They're watching everything you do, whether you believe it or not. And I even had a girl who, she found my website. She went on and purchased Shakeology because she was like, I've seen your transformation. I hadn't talked to her. Like, she was still on my list of people to contact. I had not talked to her. She did not like not one single post I ever made. But she reached out and she just bought Shakeology. And I was like, wait, you should have talked to me. You can buy 21 Day Fix. Like, it's like $10, you know? And so, and we ended up switching it. So it was fine. But that's just a really good, you know, example of how people are watching you. And you really, even if it feels like, oh, I'm making no progress. Like, what am I doing? Is this right for me? Like, how do I even make this work? Keep going. Like, just keep pushing, because the more you push, the more of a transformation you're going to get for yourself, and you're going to gain more confidence, and you're just going to prove to yourself, hey, I can do this. And it will, like Laura said too, it's a numbers game. Eventually the people will come and you will reach out to enough people and it will start to make a difference, and that ball will start to roll downhill. And the only thing you're going to get is it's going to gain momentum if you keep pushing. And I was going to say too, the 3 things that like I always try to remember when I make my social media posts is you want to do, oh no, I forgot. You want to like try to like, you know, try to base your posts on one of these 3 things. You either want to inform them of something, you know, like this is what I'm doing, or this is what I'm reading, or, you know, something like that, or educate them on Shakeology ingredients or what a challenge group is. You know, like Laura had posted I guess in another group, you know, a lot of people don't know what a challenge group is. They're like, what is a challenge group? Like, what kind of challenge do I have to actually do? You know, it's more than just fitness. It's health. It's about getting yourself in a routine. It's about, you know, it's a lot more than just health and fitness, I think. Well, my groups are, but, and then the other thing you want to do is entertain them. You know, people like to be entertained. So, you know, there's Facebook stats out there that say, you know, Facebook likes pets and kids. And if you don't have either one of those, I mean, I don't know, find something that, you know, a lot of people can relate to, because that will increase your visibility and just, you know, make you more relatable, you know, and that's the whole thing. Like, you want to post stuff that's going to be, people can relate to, you know, maybe you don't have pets or kids, but maybe you like to read, or maybe, you know, well, that's part of personal development, but there's always something that somebody else has in common with you. And I think, I don't know, growing up, my dad always said, you know, because I was really shy. So I was like, how do you meet people? Like, how do you get to know somebody? He was like, ask questions about them, make it about them, because people like to talk. Hello. So, you know, if you, if you just try to find out more about them, that makes the other person talk and you can learn. So the other thing you have to do is listen to what they're saying. If you approach a conversation like, how do I sell them a challenge pack? You're going at it the completely wrong way. You need to, what are their needs? What are their goals? Maybe they don't have the money right now. Maybe they just want to join your challenge group because they're like, I don't really know what this even is. Like, I want to get my feet wet first before I jump all in. And who knows, you know, maybe they are in your challenge group for a week and they're like, okay, yes, I totally want to do it, you know, or maybe, you know, I don't know. You never know. So just really go at it, you know, with the goal of helping them, like Laura said. I mean, that's really the bottom line. You know, as long as you have that, people will see that and they'll sense it from your personality and what you say and how you approach them. So yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
I guess I'll open it up for any like Q&A if you guys have questions. Any takers? You can post in the chat pod if you'd rather.
And it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about anything.
Yeah, totally. It doesn't have to be just about this.
All right, I have a question.
Shoot, girl.
So, how long are your challenge groups? Either of you.
Brenly, you go first.
Okay. Mine are usually 30 days, like 4 weeks. So I do like 1 week of like prep, like trying to get, you know, like, hey, welcome to the challenge group. A lot of my challengers are repeat challengers, but I do have new customers too. So that kind of gets them, you know, if they're not sure what a challenge group is, that gives them an idea like, okay, this is what's coming, you know, and like I post, hey, you know, get a notebook, like post, you know, take your body stats, all that. And then just kind of prep them for the week and then do a 3-week group after.
Okay. That's the same that I'm running right now. I toyed around with a 4-week plus a prep week. And I'm losing people at that 3rd week. It's just really hard. And then the 4th week is like totally dead. There's no one in there. So given that I'm already having a little bit of a struggle with the third week, I actually think I'm going to make that, like I'm in week 2 right now. Next week on like Sunday night, I'm going to post a little incentive. Like I'm not doing prizes for this challenge group. I'm wondering if maybe that's why I've had a little bit less engagement, but I'm kind of trying to make it a little bit more like people are wanting to do it for the experience as opposed to winning a prize.
Right.
I think that I'll maybe keep, coaches and challengers a little bit longer, more engaged. But anyway, Sunday night I'm going to post a contest probably for like, I don't know, a $20 gift card somewhere or something like that. Maybe a t-shirt. I don't know. Haven't quite gotten there yet. What other questions do you guys have?
I have another one if that's okay.
You got it.
I have gone through my Facebook list. To be perfectly honest, before this, I wasn't a huge Facebooker, so I don't have like the maximum amount of friends. Did you know that you can do that? You can hit your maximum on Facebook. I had no idea. Anyway,
Crazy, right?
I have nowhere near close to that. So I've hit everyone in my target range.
Okay.
Like I'm friends with older, this sounds really weird. I'm friends with older men. Like they're like my dad's friends, but like I'm never going to contact them and be like, hey, I can help you, because that's not my target range.
Sure.
My target range is women my age, give or take 10 years, even 20 years. And usually my biggest stars are the ones that just had a baby, because that's what I did.
Yeah.
I literally feel like I have run out of people to contact. So now what?
Let me ask you one question. If they're your dad's friends, like if you're close enough with them to be friends with them on Facebook,
right?
Personally, something that I might try if I was you is reaching out to them, letting them know, hey, I'm really excited, and I've got this new business. I'm a health and fitness accountability coach. Do you know anyone that would be interested in this? And approaching it that way, because like maybe their wife is interested, maybe their daughter or nephew or niece, I guess, not nephew, that'd be weird. But like daughter-in-law, I don't know. Like that could be a potential avenue. Brenly,
No, that's a good one.
I think what I've done over the last year is I've joined. Well, I'm new to this area. 5 years, but I still feel new because I really don't know a lot of people locally. But I joined like moms groups, and I just, I talk to them and just, be friends with them on Facebook and be like, oh, okay, if we talk back and forth, on their posts or whatever in the group, I'll be like, oh, is it okay if I add you as a friend? I'll add them as a friend. So they know it's coming, and we've had a history of non-health and fitness stuff. So it's not like all of a sudden, welcome to my page, health and fitness, all over splattered. So, it's not so awkward. Then they'll be like, oh, okay, that's what she does. So it kind of lets people see. And like I said, people are always watching you. They may not want to contact you about it right away. They want to get to know you a little bit more first. But that's a good way to expand your network. And then also, I don't know if y'all have it there, but we have like a mom's blog. It's called New Orleans Moms Blog, but they have them kind of all over. I'll have to look and see if I can find the link and see if there are any in y'all's areas. But they allow us to post like your businesses, like, hey, Moms Supporting Moms. So every, like on the first week of the month or whatever, you can post your business. And then, so our group is kind of small in my specific area, but at least I'm like, okay, first of the month, I'm like, I'm going to post my stuff on there because who knows? Another mom's post, but I haven't seen anybody else do Beachbody. But still, that's another way that you can branch out.
How are you doing with expanding your market or expanding your network in terms of like adding people?
So, something that I had heard. Oh, were you going to say something?
Well, I was asking Ashley, but Brenly, you too.
What? Oh, you were? Oh, okay.
I'm so confused.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
As someone go.
Brenly,
okay,
go.
Okay, I'll go. Okay. No, part of that is that, so like if I'm looking at people on Facebook and it says, we have mutual, I'll look and see who are our mutual friends. If we don't have any mutual Beachbody coach friends, then I'll add them. And kind of what I've done is like, I have a friend who lives here and she's like, no Beachbody, I don't do shakes, I don't do workouts, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, whatever, fine. So I go on her page because she grew up here. So she knows everybody here. So I'll go on her page and like add people that like I, kind of feel like we might have something in common, like kids the same age, or, like we like live in the same city or something. So I'll add them. And at first, like, people would add me and then they'd message me and be like, do we know each other? And I was like, no, like, I'm just, like, I'm kind of new here. And like, I'm just trying to get to know other moms in the area. Like I have small kids, like I just play dates, and they're like, oh, okay. And some of them would be like, I don't think so. And I'm like, okay, like I tried, but most everybody said yes. So that's another way if you, like maybe some of your dad's friends, if they have daughters your age or whatever, just be like, hey, I don't know, maybe you could try that. I'm not sure if that would work, but if, and what's the worst? What, they don't accept your friend request?
Yeah.
You can go out there, and I don't know if anybody's seen it, but you can, say like friend request pending. And like, I think, what's her name?
Jen Richardson?
Yes. She said, we're so like, yeah. So she had said, like, she does that. So, like, she'll friend request people, and if after 3 days she doesn't, they don't accept her friend request, she'll go ahead and, like, cancel it. And you can cancel it. So then it, like, disappears from them, and they don't have to be, like, delete or decline or whatever. So it's not awkward that way. And that just goes back to keeping a good tracking system. Like, I'll add people's names in there in my little tracking system, and if I have to go in and, like, delete, or undo, cancel their friend request, then I just put, decline, like, I canceled the request or whatever, just so that I know, hey, they didn't want to be my friend. Which is fine, because like they don't know me, like I'm okay with that. But hey, if they do accept, then you can get to know them, and then, just post on their photos and stuff like that, and engage with
that's
them for a while.
awesome. That's excellent.
Yeah. So I don't know. Try it out. We'll see how it works.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any other questions, Ash?
I'm sure I do, but not at the moment.
Okay, so one thing, just kind of to wrap up, that I was thinking of, unless Brentley, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good. I've talked long enough.
I was thinking about, I did not post on our team calendar, but I did not post this on the team calendar. I would like to do a team like sneak peek, or behind the scenes in the coaching, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know when the best time is to do that in terms of like everyone's stuff that they've got going on. Like for me, I kind of feel like the first week of a challenge group, that can be a good thing because you've got people in there, they're starting to feel it first couple days in, and then maybe we do a sneak peek. Or if you want to do that at the end. So just like take a day, think about when it would be beneficial, and then I'll post in the group page, and you guys can just comment, and we can figure out when we want to post one of those for our big team.
That sounds good.
Cool. I think that was everything. So, okay, with that, I will wrap it up. And if you guys have any questions, if you're watching this video and you have questions, just post in the comments, and we will answer as soon as possible. Thanks, guys.
Bye.